Eager to start your own small business but held back about the finances that are associated with running a business? Perhaps you're worried about running into those emergency or blind spot expenses, and this worry is keeping you from launching your business. In today's video, we're going to be going over a comprehensive list of expenses that is associated with running almost any small business today. My name is Pam Matani. I'm a business lawyer and the founder here at Graphene Business Law, a virtual law firm where we offer services to business owners and entrepreneurs across Ontario. Now, in being a business law firm, we work exclusively with, as I mentioned, business owners. And this video is a result of years of observing the costs that business owners coming our way are running into, but also as business owners ourselves, we here at Graphene have the unique ability to connect with you over your business expenses. Because I can tell you right now, there isn't a single expense on this list that I haven't run into personally. Okay? The list I've made, by the way, has 13 steps or 13 heads of expenses, so to speak. But as you'll notice as we go through the video, each head of expenses has or can have its own sub costs, if you will. If you're new to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and click on the red subscribe button down below and give this video a big thumbs up, okay? We regularly post content here on YouTube that is most relevant to business owners and entrepreneurs, and we do put a lot of effort into these videos as a means of putting free educational content out there that could help you make the most out of your time with a lawyer when you do book that meeting with them, and that way you'll need less time with them, you'll need to pay less as a result of that lesser amount of time, and you'll be more efficient in your business operations and conversations with other business professionals overall. So without further ado, let's get into this list that I said I have 13 costs that if you're running a small business, again, Graphene, we're located in Ontario. So if you're running a small business in Ontario, there is a very high likelihood that you will need to consider each and every single one of these heads of costs, and perhaps they'll even apply to your situation directly. The first, and these are in no particular order. The first is rent. I know that with COVID, a lot of businesses have pivoted to being, entirely virtual. Graphene Business Law, for example, is a corporation, is a business that doesn't have rent expenses. We have, of course, we pay for mail services and we pay for a private company to hold our mail and to deliver it to us. So we do have that mailing address that is, of course, going to be required in order to hear from clients. But we don't have that conventional office space where somebody walks in, there's, the staff at the front, the sign on the door, and this and that. It's simply not necessary in today's world, at least not for every single business. If your business is a physical one where you're physically delivering a service on site, or it's an industrial business where you need large machinery and equipment to operate, rent is going to be at the top of your list. Rent is the second most expensive cost, and first on the list is staff. So these are real, very real and significant expenses you have to consider in starting your business. So rent was the first one. Number two, equipment and supplies. Why are these two different things? Well, think about in the example of a cleaning business. Equipment for a cleaning business, depending on their size and level of clientele and spaces they're cleaning and all of those criteria, equipment is going to entail or could entail industrial vacuums and those floor sweepers we've seen on that somebody gets on them and they ride them like a lawnmower and they clean the floor as they go. There can be pretty heavy machinery associated and equipment associated with cleaning. What's the supplies? Well, of course, you're going to need the cleaning detergents, you're going to need the gloves, you're going to need the masks. So equipment and supplies. It's on you to determine what that means for your business. Again, for us as a law firm, in terms of supplies, it's true that supplies for me might not mean hair cutting kits or cleaning kits or things like that, but there's still office supplies that I have to account for, especially in the legal world where most lawyers are very trigger happy when it comes to printing, and that's a very real expense. For example, of course that's just one expense, but I'm giving you an example. when it comes to equipment. You know, this laptop you see in front of me, the phones, the cameras, that is equipment as well needed for my business. So I encourage you to think why I'm sort of making this relatable to myself as well and the expenses I have is because at first glance, I'll be honest, even myself as a law firm owner, you might be inclined to think that these don't really apply to you. Like, oh, I'm a virtual firm offering this and that. No, these expenses have to apply to me. You know, we're running a serious operation here with clientele, with very real, business dreams and goals and aspirations and issues. I have to address every single thing and be ready every single time you walk through my door. And that's gonna take, a full list of expenses to get me ready every time you come through my door. Okay. Number 3, inventory. This depends on the industry you're in. And first of all, I want to take a moment to define inventory because I find that sometimes there can be confusion between inventory and supplies. Or in other words, business owners might confuse everything that's not this big heavy machinery as one umbrella of inventory/supply/stuff. What is inventory? Inventory is material that you could convert into a sale or material that is ready for sale today. Okay, that's a very big picture definition. Okay, so for example, if you are into retail, you're selling, clothing and accessories, that's your inventory. The bracelets you're making, the chains you're selling, the shirts you're selling, that's your inventory. Your inventory is not, the stitching equipment that went into producing the pieces. Your inventory is not the supplies that go into, putting a label on the back of every shirt. Okay, inventory is material you can flip for $1 today. So think of what your inventory costs are. Number 4, shipping and transportation. This one is one that I feel is overlooked and can be quite a blind spot. You would be surprised and shocked at how expensive shipping for a small business can be. And I know, obviously I know as a business owner and business lawyer, I know that there's a lot of companies out there that purport that, if you buy a monthly membership, they'll help you hedge your cost of shipping a little bit. But be careful, ask them questions, read between the lines. If your usage is very few units, which it should be when you're starting out, nobody starts out famous, or if your usage is a lot of units and you eventually do pick up, what does that mean for your concrete shipping cost of 1 unit at the door? Okay, transportation is another thing that I feel is overlooked, and I tied them together by virtue of the fact that they're both using, my thinking honestly was that they're both using gas in some kind. Okay, so shipping could be anything. It could be ground shipping, it can be boat, it can be air freight, it can be all of those things. And when it comes to transportation, if you're going to a business meeting to land a big deal or visiting a client site, depending on your business model, right? I remember once talking to an owner of a cleaning business, and honestly, she listed transportation as one of her largest expenses. The sheer amount of money and gasoline and car maintenance that it took to go from site to site. So shipping and transportation, I'll put into one umbrella, but they're 2 different things, common denominator being some sort of fuel going in there. And you think about how they apply to you. Even myself as a virtual business, shipping is going to apply. If we have to drop something off in court, if we have to serve something, if we have to go pick up materials from a client's home or meet with a client and this and that. So that's what I mean. My goal for this video is for this to be the most comprehensive list of of items and expenses that a small business owner needs to worry about. And there's a lot of things, but you shouldn't have that be something that overwhelms you. We talking about these things right now gives you that certainty and that peace of mind that, okay, now I've thought of everything and I'm safe. Okay, so better to talk about it now than come to see these expenses as emergencies coming through your door in a few months' time. 5 is staff. Okay, this can be a little tricky when you first start because there's so many different kinds of staff, and that's why I always recommend consult a lawyer for every new human body you bring into the door in whatever capacity. Okay, staff could be full-time staff, it can be part-time staff, it can be independent contractors, it can be seasonal staff, or staff might even be freelancers. For example, if you're having somebody do your accounting or your Google ads or what might be the case, those persons are not it's not an employment situation that you're entering into with them most of the time. It's some sort of freelance situation, but they're still human bodies that you need to pay for. So that's a really important umbrella of expense, and it's unavoidable actually. There's a lot of one-man shows or one-woman shows, one-human shows out there that can go on for quite some time, but any operation to grow and scale is going to need to involve other human bodies or other machines, but even then you're going to need other human bodies to do something with those machines in some capacity. So think of your staff costs very carefully. 6. Okay, 6 is sort of my like drop the mic moment, and it's not intentionally so. I know when I say what number 6 is, you're going to be thinking you're a lawyer, of course you would say that. So therefore number 6 is what? It's legal costs, okay? Why is this such an important umbrella of costs? You could do every single thing in my list of 13 here. You could account for all of these costs, do everything perfectly. Let's say your business is a cupcake shop and you serve that first cupcake and it's the most gorgeous, perfect, insane cupcake the world has ever seen. But that cupcake happens to have an allergen in it that you didn't disclose that seriously injures somebody or even causes them, bodily harm we've covered, but even causes death, causes loss of life. You are going to lose everything you have and that your family has. There's a chance you're going to lose everything you have and that your family has so quickly as a result of that lawsuit that will surely ensue if the other party, has any level of sophistication, quite frankly. Why wouldn't you sue? Why wouldn't I sue you for everything you're worth if you've caused that kind of damage to somebody that I care for? If you're not incorporated, for example, if that's the best business structure for you, if you don't have some sort of legal protection between your name and your business, if there's not some sort of barrier there to split those liabilities and to separate those liabilities, right? That's the more accurate word, because split might make you think that you'd still be liable for something, and you can be depending on the circumstances. I'm not saying, incorporation would absolve you entirely if you've been sufficiently negligent. There's things that are called lifting the corporate veil and all that, but you afford yourself so much more protection and peace of mind. Because keep in mind, and I hope it's an illustrative example, maybe you're sitting there thinking it's an exaggerated one, but it happens. You can do every single thing right, okay? But the first product you serve makes somebody sick. Or if you're offering services, the first time you go give a haircut, you cut somebody and you happen to have cut them, they happen to have a certain, you'd be surprised at things that happen, right? But as I always say, under the sun, there are no surprises. You could cut somebody with your barber kit at a place, that happens to have access to, a bigger vein or artery, let's say. And that person might have a medical condition whereby they have thin blood, so they're just bleeding out in your clinic. They suffer trauma, they suffer bodily injury, they suffer this and that, time at the hospital. It's the first haircut you ever gave. You have the most gorgeous salon with the best, skull and crystal sculptures out there. You've got a manly place going on, and somebody comes in for that first, fresh cut, and you've hurt them, and now you're getting sued. And maybe you didn't incorporate. So you're gonna get sued personally, you're gonna bring yourself on the line, your family on the line, everything is now at stake. Please take seriously this number, number 6, so to speak. It's not number 6 in the real world. In the real world, it's referred to as legal costs. Take seriously the legal costs, okay? You're gonna want a lawyer involved when you start your business, as you grow your business, and if it happens to you, it happens to like 75% of businesses within the first 10 years of business, that they have to wind up, and it's, the show goes on kind of thing. Consult a lawyer then too, because there might be money on the table you're leaving behind. It's going to benefit you every time. You're never going to go to a lawyer proactively and be like, man, the one person that lost here, it was me. I lost because I saw a lawyer and I incorporated my business properly. Because I saw a lawyer and I signed a partnership agreement which had clauses that benefit me. Because I saw a lawyer and this buy and sell agreement, helped my business. I'm the one person that lost out. You're not going to be, okay? I think I made the point. I'll move on. Number 7, financial costs. This I think is tricky, and keeping in mind that anybody can start a business. I mean, of course, there's certain criteria in terms of, you probably don't want to be a child starting a business and things like that, but big picture, anybody can start a business. I find that the level of sophistication across clients can make this next point a very blurry cost. And that's financial costs, right? So what counts as financial costs? Anything that's going to cost you $1 counts as financial costs. For example, There are clients out there that go and put lines of credit to their business. They go and put, they take out credit cards on the name of their business, and they think, I'm just swiping it, like whatever, but that's not really my concern, or I don't need to worry until I have the money. I don't have to pay. Actually, with any line of credit under the sun, you're going to need to make at least minimum monthly payments, including, and that can depend, it could be interest only, it can be interest plus a little bit of principal, it can be interest and a lot of principal. It depends on the deal you've made for yourself. Sometimes you can ask the banks to defer, principal, or defer even interest of a certain rate altogether for a few months. You're welcome to ask, anybody, any question, including financial institutions. But the reality is that bell of costs is going to ring at some point, and you should be very aware as to what at the very least, the minimum carrying expenses of the debt you've taken out on your business are. The minimum financials you need to pay to survive in business for the next month, okay? Number 8, marketing and advertising. It's a reality of life today. I don't think I need to say too much about this one. It's a reality of life today. If you're a small business, you're going to want to play around with Google Ads a little bit. If you're a small business, you're going to want to play around with some of these platforms, these large e-commerce sites, and see the return on investment they can give you. You're going to want to play around with social media marketing, all of these things, okay? You might want to hire a freelancer, see where that goes, all of that. The one thing I want to be, sort of make a disclaimer, having seen a lot of clients go down the wrong path, this can be the closest of all of the things on this list. This can be the closest to just straight up gambling, okay? Don't throw every single dollar you have into marketing, because at the end of the day, what you might be marketing, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound a certain kind of way, but what you might be marketing is pure crap, okay? But somebody's going to take your money with a smile to market your crap, okay? So make sure you have strong business models. Make sure you have an understanding of your clientele. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you're legally protected. Make sure you're financially educated, baseline education, before you start throwing out these dollars into marketing. Have you ever checked if the world wants the good or service you provide? Please be careful with the marketing and advertising. It can be an endless pit. Number 9, utilities. This one again goes without saying. Whether you're working from home, hey, I still turn the tap on. I still have lights on right now. I still have internet that I'm going to post this video with. I still have a business phone that I'm going to be taking a call with. So, and I'm a virtual law firm, right? And I still have all of these kinds of utilities. So imagine if you're in person, what does that look like for you? Maybe you're virtual as well. What does that look like for you? Number 10, membership dues. As a lawyer, I have certain, annual membership, if you will, or professional expenses that I need to pay. Legal, insurance, law society, memberships and this and that. But on top of it, there's fun memberships. Maybe you're a business owner and you've joined some sort of business owners club in your community. And guess what? That club wants its club fees every year. Maybe you identify as female and you've joined this women bosses club, but that women bosses club is going to need some sort of tap from the credit card from you in order, or so they'll say, to host events and this and that and bring the community together, and the time of the people running the show. So what does that look like for you? What memberships have you taken on? Some of which, by the way, can produce a great return on investment, right? They're not all scamming. So what memberships what organizations are you part of, and what's the cost? Number 11, insurance goes without saying. Insure your contents. Don't make a joke out of insurance, whether it's a physical space, whether it's the operations of your business, whatever it is, your goods, your inventory, insure. Number 12, taxes. This one can come as a nasty surprise to a lot of small business owners. If you're operating in Canada, and of course, like I said, Graphene Business Law is a business law firm offering services in Ontario. That's our jurisdiction. But if you're in Canada, you're going to be collecting something called HST. In most provinces, I know there's something with Alberta where I know their tax rates are significantly lower than the rest of the provinces. Now, that HST if it's your first go around, you're going to be so shocked by the time tax time comes around, because you have to remit the HST you collect from the government. The HST you collect from your customers is not like a little freebie to you to earn 13% that you actually had planned on earning. Yes, that's not how that works. Every single dollar of that HST needs to be remitted back to the government. And if you haven't been taking it aside as the money comes in from a client, you're going to have to cough up this large amount of money all of a sudden at one point in the year. So be careful with the tax costs, because if you don't do it right, it's going to be just that, a huge cost to you. 13, remember I said it was a list of 13, so we made it to the end. 13 is something I've called special cause. Deep breath. What is this going to mean? This is sort of, depends on your creativity, depends on your appetite, depends on your vision for your business. This can be anything. But one example is, let's say you have a storefront and you want to make clear that you're a little edgy, you're a little different. So as part of your special cause, you're going to want to put this gorgeous mural on the facade of your building. Something really eye-catching, something really, like I said, hip and modern. That's going to cost. It's a special cost insofar as it's not something, it's not an accountant you're going to work with every month end. It's not a lawyer you're going to work with every time a big business thing comes up, something that can grow your business or consequently jeopardize your business comes up. It's not a monthly, interest payment that's going to come up. This truly could be a once in a lifetime, depending on the quality and the paints and the weather, where you are and all of that. But it can be a huge cost, right? So think of that ahead. Think of that before the day comes. Because if you start noticing, for example, that all the businesses in your area have these really gorgeous visuals to attract clients with, and you decide that you need one now, all of a sudden that in your mind is going to turn into some sort of emergency cost. Although there's nothing intrinsically urgent about, painting a mural. But if you go into your business with the understanding that that's something you'd like and you're budgeting for it, every month as you get a little bit of income in, that's a different story. Another example of the visual would be, some raggedy banner you inherit from the business owner that was there before you. Obviously, you don't want a raggedy banner to be the first impression somebody has of your business. And that can be a cost of, I guess if you're lucky, you'll get it for, in the hundreds, but in the thousands, I often hear them going that far. Well, it's a special cost, right? Because you're hoping that that's not like a regular annual or even 5-year kind of thing, but you're going to need to cough up the money. If you expect your clients to take you seriously, you should be the first to take your business seriously and have some nice visuals to represent it. A banner with your business title and your legal business name is a lot more urgent or serious of an expense than a mural with some, visuals on it. Okay. I said it was 13 things on the list. I'm obviously going to stop at 13 because otherwise it would mean I was unplanned and unorganized in putting together even such a hefty list, okay? What was the point of this video? When I started my law firm a few years ago, I myself went around to different YouTube articles, or YouTube videos I should say, and I Googled costs of running a law firm, how to start up a law firm, what do you need to start a law firm? These questions that you might have, been researching yourself when it comes to small business and small business operations, and maybe that's how you found my video. So it's a good idea to do what you're doing and collect this information. I remember from my day, however, some videos would give you 3 things, some videos would give you 5 things, sometimes they'd overlap, so that that's a really important cost. But I remember finding one video, and I don't remember his name, I didn't look it up before this, but it was a guy in a suit. It was a man in a suit, and his one video had like 10 or 12 things on the list. And I remember seeing that video, and it was like an aha moment. Like, he just gave me the checklist of law firm ownership and what I needed to account for. And I took that checklist and I ran with it. And I referred to it months after starting my business. And I hope this can be that checklist for you. This was a free video. I expect nothing in return. Of course, it'd be nice if you click subscribe and you give this video a thumbs up, but intrinsically through a YouTube audience interaction, I don't expect anything in return from you. This was just to help you out because I know what you're going through. I see the mistakes that some of my clients have made, and I see the blessings that the clients that are well planned and the rewards that the clients that are well organized are able to reap. And I hope that could be you. Okay. I want to say one thing as well in terms of, you know, as a disclaimer, if you will, from a lawyer, what do I mean by that? From a seriously minded business professional, okay? Be careful with the kinds of expenses that you're being asked to pitch into when you first start your business. Literally, as I was getting ready for this video, I saw a commercial from a very popular e-commerce website, and the pitch went something along the line of, you've started your dream business, everything is going according to plan. And then it gave this graphic of like a business crash, like your website crashed because you had so many people on the site. Okay, so there's that fear antic that they're pumping into you to go onto their platform and to purchase the membership. I'm not going to say their name, but you can figure out, you know, there's few of those companies out there that, you know, have been in the news recently, and they're at a certain scale and they're trying to grow even more and this and that. Now, pumping you with the fear that your business is going to crash, you know, at some point in the future, so pay more today, I think is so ridiculous. No offense with what I'm about to say, but you don't even know if you're going to sell one unit of your goods. So what are you worried about? What if my business crashes? Have you sold anything? Have you sold anything consistently? Have you sold anything with consistent growth month over month, right? Because we're not trying to sell 5 units a month until the last breath we take. If it was 5 last month, it better be 15 this month, 30 the month after, and so on and so forth, right? So that's kind of a good example, I think, to illustrate that be careful with the money you're being asked to spend, because it's not, remember I said the marketing pit, the Google Ads pit. Try to be as logical as you can. Try to understand your business model inside and out. Try to understand your audience inside and out, and try to understand the trajectory, like where your numbers are genuinely headed. If you do nothing different, where's your business going to be next month? Where's your business going to be a year from now? Don't let these fear tactics that these companies are putting out to try and separate you from your hard-earned dollars make you spend those dollars that you might not even have into, you know, well, now I know that when my business gets a lot of attention online, the site's not going to crash. Your business might never get a lot of attention, and there goes your expense. Okay, so not to end on a somber note, but hey, like I said, I want this to be a valuable video, and it's not going to be valuable if I pump it with, you know, blue skies and yellow butterflies. Okay, thank you for watching. You know where to find us. graphenebusinesslaw.ca is our website, and info@graphenebusinesslaw.ca is our welcome email for any inquiries you might have. You know, you reach out and we'll connect and see how we can help your business grow, and if you're pre-business, if you will, how we can help launch your business in a meaningful and legally adherent and protected manner. Thank you for watching.